You could always take a board and measure where your cake is going to sit and score along the sides. That way you can get a precise area of where you're going to put your dowels in. I usually just eyeball it. I'm usually pretty good at measuring.
Right, after many years experience,
Yeah.
you already know where your dowels are going to go.
You can use that trick. Just take a board, score it.
There you go. Now we're using buttercream so the cake will adhere to the next tier. Your dowels are going to go just inside of the cake board. We've measured the 8 dowels.
So what I'm doing is just marking, just wiggling the dowel so it touches the icing a little bit, so we can get a marker. And then I just cut where the buttercream cut it, and
there you are. And it's level flush to the frosting.
You don't want it any taller or any shorter.
Right.
You don't want the top tier to dig into the bottom. If it's too short, it's going to start sinking till it reaches the dowels. And then if it sits on top, you have the chances of it falling over.
It's always nice to have a nice cold or frozen cake when you start stacking. We have the largest tier on our cake safe board. This is where our cake is going to travel in. So she pretty much eyeballed it. This is a 14-inch cake. The next tier will be a
10.
It's a 10-inch round, tall. Next tier?
So for these ones, since it's going to be all smooth, I usually just handle them because they're kind of frozen. So especially because they're heavy, and if you go to the spatula thing, it gets all wonky on the bottom. I just do this. Seems kind of difficult on camera, but it's the easiest way that I like to do it. So you just have to manhandle it. See how it's frozen? I can just
put your hands on it.
It's okay if you have these little, obviously it's not ideal for not smooth cakes, but that's like, we'll get there. That's for a different time.
Right now, we're just doing a demonstration on where to place the dowels and how to stack the cake.
But I'll show you how to do the proper way for the smaller ones.
Yeah.
It's a little easier with the spatula. This is the easy way, just smooth this out. Make sure it's all level. Every side is a perfect diameter away. Pretty good.
Looks about right.
Just got a little bit.
Bring it over, and then you can see.
And then this is where we smooth it out. I usually fill the gap with the same color frosting. Then I go ahead and smooth out everything. And that way I can get rid of those handprints. Make sure everything's flush like that. There's no wrong way to stack a cake if it stacks.
That's right.
And it looks great in the end because it's nerve-wracking.
It is.
Especially a big cake like this. This gap right here, you can go over it again, but we're going to put a border so it doesn't really matter because it's going to get covered. And for a smaller cake, we would be using a turntable, but this board doesn't fit. And since it's so heavy, we already want to put it on the cake safe. That way we can easily transfer it to the fridge.
All right. So now we're working on 8-inch tall. And for this one, we're going to use how many dowels approximately?
Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 7.
Perfect.
For the bigger cakes, I want to use as many dowels as I can.
Right.
Just for extra support. Because usually if it's 2-tier, I usually only use 4 to 5. I don't use that many. As long as you secure north, east, south, and west, that's all you really need. Or you can use 5 and space it out just a little bit. Then I'm going to do the same thing. Score it
and cut it. See how it's really level to the top. You just want to make sure that the dowels are pretty even.
Yeah. It's okay if it's a tiny bit above the line. If you did it like this, a tiny bit, because what the cake is going to do, it's going to add the pressure and it's going to just go down like that.
Put the buttercream. That one is number, what is that?
So the
8-inch round. So we're going to put that on top.
Just doing the same thing.
3 tiers on, 1 more to go.
Make sure everything's level.
And you said you always
start with a smooth top. Make sure everything is level.
All right, this is our last one. And for this one, we're going to use
about 5 dowels because it's just for the 6-inch. So you usually use about 5.
We use wooden dowels. Some use boba straws.
For big cakes, I recommend the wooden dowels just because it's sturdier than the boba straws. But usually 2 tiers, you can get away with the boba straws.
When it's a 4-tier like this, it's very heavy. You don't want to chance something where it's going to fall or tip over, buckle.
This is where my height benefits me.
That's right. This is where I need a step ladder. And there we go.
So for our last one, you can use a spatula to go underneath the layer, and you're gonna assist it with another spatula. But I find that kind of hard sometimes. If you assemble it at a venue, you're probably gonna use this method, but we usually assemble everything and then decorate it and then transport it in our cake safe so that everything's just good to go. All you have to do is drop off, put some minor details if you need to, and then that's it. So this part is a little bit tougher if you have to assemble on site. Also because your buttercream's kind of softened a little bit, so you probably just need two spatulas, one on each side.
Right, so
So then
we
you would
have
just
minimal damage.
guide it together and then drop it on. But that's a little hard. So I just, since it's all chilled, just go ahead and so easy that way.
And I think that's the advantage that we have, that
Yeah.
we're able to transport a completely decorated tiered
Yeah.
cake onto our cake safe. Without that, it's very difficult to.
Yeah. I've just been doing it this way for so long that the other way is just, I don't even want to think about that one.
Yeah, stressful enough as it is trying to transport a
Yeah.
cake like
So
this.
this is a good investment, the cake safe. Very useful, especially big cakes like this. And you want to just do the same thing.
I can't wait to see the finished product. This is just going to be so good.
Looks the same all the way around.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have a border, you're just gonna add a little bit more buttercream and smooth that out again. Show you like that. Add more if you need to. Sometimes too, I'll take my finger and just kind of in, so it seems like that, which is fine too. So
each tier is about 5 inches tall. 4 layers of cake, 3 layers of filling for each tier. You make this look so easy.
This part's easy. The scary part is getting it into the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
The bottom tier is heavy.
So definitely we need 2 people to carry this cake.
Yeah.
This cake
have a lot of flavors. This one's lemon blueberry,
yeah.
tres leches, and red velvet.
Wow.
So you don't want tres leches on the bottom because that's just scary. Tres leches, I usually put a thicker crumb coat on it. It's a little thicker, and then a nice good amount of the final layer of buttercream. It's pretty good. Never had issues with leaking or anything.
All right, this is how we stack our 4-tier cake. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below.